Can you live outside the United States and receive Social Security benefits? And is there a law that requires you to visit the U.S. every 6 months in order to continue receiving your benefits? Those are the two questions online today that I want to answer. So let's get right into it. So the first question is from somebody that says, I'm 72 years old. I cannot afford to live in the U.S. on my Social Security benefits. Will Social Security mail my check to an overseas country? So here is the thing. Yes, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can receive your Social Security benefits abroad. So let me walk you through. There are some things you need to be aware of that are important before you make this decision. So let's jump to it. So Social Security benefits can be received while living in most foreign countries, and the emphasis is most. The benefits can be deposited directly into a U.S. bank account or potentially a foreign bank account. So that particular foreign country where you want to live, you will be able to deposit your Social Security benefits directly into a bank account there. There are some restrictions, but largely you'll be able to do that in many countries. There is no mailing of Social Security checks. So Social Security will not mail you a physical check. That has been something that Social Security stopped doing a long time ago. So if you are going to receive your Social Security benefit, whether you're doing it in the U.S. or abroad, it will have to be by direct deposit. So if you're living abroad, it will have to go into a U.S. bank account that you can access abroad, or it will have to be through a foreign bank account in the country where you are going to be living. Now, there are certain things that you have to consider before making a decision to move abroad to receive your Social Security benefit, or to, if you feel like you cannot afford to live here in the United States and need to live abroad. There are things that you have to consider that may impact your decision. Number one is Medicare may not work outside the United States. So you have to figure out what is going to be your health insurance option while living in that country. And then some country, before you move there, may require you to show financial stability. So you have to show documents and financial information that shows that you have the money to be able to take care of yourself while living there. And in many of these countries, there are expat communities, expatriates that live there, that support each other and provide information and make it easy for United States citizens to be able to navigate living in that particular country. Now, there are other things also that you have to consider. Cost of living in that particular country, obviously, healthcare costs, language barriers, because in some countries, you may have visited the touristy areas and maybe everybody, in those areas speak English, and it may give you a false sense of security, but does everybody, the day-to-day stuff you're going to be doing when you're actually living there and grocery shopping and buying food and taking transportation and getting help with your car, everything you need on a day-to-day basis, are you going to be able to navigate that in a foreign language if that is a place where English is not widely spoken? So those are some of the things that you have to consider. So there is a Social Security questionnaire that you can fill out. It's called the Social Security Payments Abroad Screening Tool that will help you determine if the country that you are planning to go to and live, whether you can receive your benefits there. There are a few countries that Social Security by law is not allowed to pay beneficiaries there. So you want to use this screen. I've put the link on the screen, so you have to go to that URL on the Social Security website, or you can even Google Social Security SSA Payment Abroad Screening Tool, and it will take you there. But one final thing I want to answer on this question before we move to the next question is this. Hold on a second. I think I am getting ahead of myself here. So when you're living abroad and receiving Social Security benefits, there is an annual questionnaire that you have to fill out. People call it the I'm not dead yet questionnaire, where Social Security want to check and make sure that you're still alive. So they will send you a questionnaire to fill out and send back. And you have to do that every year. Otherwise, your benefits will be stopped. So that is something that you have to consider and pay attention to while living abroad and collecting Social Security. So let's jump to the next question. Here is the question. So the person is saying that I heard you have to come back to the U.S. every 6 months to continue Social Security benefits. Anyone living outside the U.S. know if this is true or have any facts? Well, I can answer that question right away with the facts. So U.S. citizens living abroad can receive Social Security benefits. As a U.S. citizen, you can live abroad and collect Social Security indefinitely. And as I mentioned, you have to fill out the annual form to show that you're still alive. But other than that, you can live outside of the United States. And if it's a country where you can receive benefits, then you're allowed to do that and live there indefinitely. Benefits can be direct deposited into a foreign bank account. U.S. citizens may need to submit an annual form to confirm they are alive, as I mentioned. And the mailing of the form usually occurs in May with a 60-day window for you to return that form. Now, if your check is direct deposited into a foreign bank account, be cautious of potential exchange rate issues because, it's going to be deposited US dollars but converted into the currency of that country. So there may be some exchange rate issues. So you just have to clarify and make sure that you know what you're getting and what fees are associated with that transaction. And this is for Social Security retirement benefits. It may be different if you are receiving disability benefits, which is SSDI and SSI. Those requirements will be totally different. So this is purely for Social Security retirement. Now, non-citizens, however, may have different residency requirements than U.S. citizens. So if you're a non-citizen, you're receiving Social Security and you want to move and live abroad permanently, there are some things you have to consider because there are some regulatory, legal stuff that you have to meet to continue to get your benefits. So non-U.S. citizens must complete Form SSA-21 if you are leaving the United States for 30 consecutive days or more if you are receiving Social Security benefits. Generally, non-citizens cannot receive benefits after 6 months outside. So the question that the person was asking, if you're a U.S. citizen, it doesn't apply to you. You don't have to come back every 6 months to continue to receive benefit. As long as you're filling out the annual form, that will be sent to you. But if you're a non-citizen, a green card holder or whatever, you cannot receive benefits after 6 months, continuous 6 months of living outside the U.S. Exceptions exist allowing benefit recipients without re-entering the U.S. And without an exception, physical and lawful presence in the U.S. for a full calendar month is required to restart your benefits. So here are the rules for temporary return to the U.S. So if you've been absent from the U.S., absence is counted only after 30 consecutive days outside the United States. So that is when the clock begins to tick. So if you leave the U.S. for more than 30 days, then you have 6 months to be able to come back within, otherwise your benefits will be cut off. Returning to the U.S. for any part of a day within 30 days resets the absence count. For example, if you leave on January 15th and you return by February 14th, then you don't have to worry about anything. But if you live there longer, if you stay there longer, then here's what you need to think about. You must stay in the U.S. for 30 consecutive days before the end of the 6-month post-departure to continue to receive benefits. So here's an example. If you left on January 15th and you didn't return by February 14th, then now you've entered the 6-month window where if you don't come back, then your benefits will be cut off. So you must complete a 30-day stay in the U.S. before the end of July. So that's an example. So here is clearly what you have to think about. If you leave less than 30 days, you have nothing to worry about if you're a non-citizen. You'll continue to get your benefits. But if you leave more than 30 days, a clock starts, a 6-month clock starts, and you have to return and live 30 days in the U.S. before that 6 months is over. So this example just demonstrates that. If your benefits are stopped, return and stay lawfully for the entire calendar month to restart those benefits. So if it's stopped, you can restart it, but you have to come back and stay for 30 days. A full calendar month means presence in the U.S. for every hour of any month. And so an example is to be present for August, arrive by July 31st, and leave no sooner than September the 1st. So those are the rules around collecting Social Security and living abroad. So, are you considering doing this? Are you trying to live abroad and collect your Social Security? What is making you make this move? I want to hear from you in the comment section below, because I want to get an understanding of what is motivating people to want to live abroad and collect Social Security benefit. Is it financial? Is it circumstantial? Is it family? So share in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button so that it will be shown to more people. And please consider subscribing, because we appreciate your support. So until I see you in the next video answering your next question, thank you for watching.